This is Let's Talk Teens, a parenting podcast sharing tips on raising amazing teenagers. We are both certified life coaches that have worked with teenagers as coaches, mentors, and teachers. We are sharing what we have found to work best when dealing with teens and tough issues.
This is Let's Talk Teens with Abbi and Cheree, episode 78, How to Know When to Let Your Teen Quit a Hobby.
Okay, the question of, do I force my kid to take piano lessons or I make them keep dancing, right? Like, I don't know, Cheree, this one feels heavy. Like, it feels heavy as a mom. Sometimes as a coach, parents will be like, I don't know, should I let my child quit this activity? And it's a tough question. So I thought, you know what? Let's chat about this because I don't think there is any easy answers, but there are some things to kind of look at and can indicate if your teen is ready to quit a hobby and, let that one pass by, or if we should exercise that parental authority and kind of encourage them and nod them to keep this up.
Oh, it's so hard to know, right? I can't wait for this episode. I think it's going to be a good one to talk about.
Yeah, well, we'll start with truly like one of my biggest, best indicators to know, oh, my child is done with this activity is when the big event is over. So maybe the dance recital is done, the piano recital is done, the big game, the season is over, right? And you are feeling that amazing hit of like endorphins and all those awesome chemicals that go, "Ah, I did this, right? Like, and it feels so good. Like when the event is over, if your teen still in that moment is like, yeah, I don't want to do this next time, or I don't want to take this class again, or yeah, I think I really am done with piano, mom, that should be a really big indicator to us that they are sincere because your teen, on the flip side, any lead up to a big event, whether that's the recital or the big game or, the performance, that is when your teen is going to come to you and be like, Mom, I don't know if I could do this anymore. This is too much pressure and I'm stressed out. And that is not when we should listen to our teen because I don't make great decisions when I'm leading up to a presentation or when I'm about to speak to a group of young women, Cheree. I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I sign up for this? And yet afterwards, I'm reminded, oh, this is my favorite thing in the whole world. Like, this is what I'm
Exactly.
trained for. But if in that moment, if and after when I'm feeling all those awesome floods of hormones and chemicals of like, I did it, I did the thing, if it's still not fun, then that should be like our, oh, yep, okay, let's have a real conversation with our teen about what it would look like maybe to not continue this hobby.
And that's just good information that that chapter or season of their life is closed. It's not a bad thing. They got what they needed out of it. It was successful. It was good. It taught them some really great things. They have some great skills. And it's time for them to close that door and open another one. I think it's so good. I love that thought of like, it's not the time when they're like leading up to it to listen to them, but to listen to them when it's over. And if they're not just like so happy with how it went and just loving it because all those chemicals and endorphins are like flooding our brain and body and they're still wanting to quit, that is such a good time to be like, okay, and they are done. This
Yeah.
chapter's
And whatever you do, do not listen to them beforehand, right? When they're
yes.
like,
Yes.
I'm gonna quit. And you're like, no, let's
Yep.
let's get through the performance and then we
And
can talk
then
about this,
yep.
right?
And then we'll see if you still feel the same way. That's a great way to do it. It's like, hey, let's get to the performance. And then if you still feel the same way, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
that goes with my second tip on this of let's check our thoughts on this dream of theirs.
Mhm.
I cannot tell you how many youth that I talk to, and I swear to you, this might be a Utah thing, but they're like, my mom says I have to play piano till I can fill in the dot and play every hymn in the hymn book until
Because she quit and she wishes she wouldn't have.
yes, yes, because she quit, she wishes she wouldn't have. Or
Yeah.
my parents are really like amazing pianists, right? Like there are sometimes situations when we are putting our dreams and our wishes and our
Yeah.
regrets of quitting a thing onto our child. And we
Yes.
gotta let that go because truly, like I do think many years ago, it was really helpful when your kid could play the piano because nobody else could. Today, I'm like, guess what? You can press play on your phone, and now you can all sing.
Exactly.
And and do we really like? We need to check that. If we're like, well, I have this dream of them being able to play the piano. Well, let me tell you this. I don't know a teen alive that if they like struggled through 12 years of piano and they're like, yeah, I can play. If they do not enjoy it, they're not going to be playing it. They're not going to be playing Christmas hymns. I think we have this fantasy that we're like, my son is going to take piano for 12 years. He's going to realize on that 12th year that he actually does secretly love this. And at Christmas, he's going to play us songs and we're going to sing together as a family. I'm sorry
And
to
then he's
break
going to
that.
thank me. And then he's going
Yes.
to thank me for making him do
Yes. And
it.
I'm like, I am so sorry to be that dream crusher right now, but I
Yeah,
just don't think that's going to happen.
it's
Right.
not.
So
Yeah.
if we really like, if we boil down to it and we're like, well, the reason I'm forcing you to do this is because I think it's a good idea, or I think I wish I had done not quit this musical instrument, or I wish this, or I want you to get a college scholarship, right? That is not a good reason to keep your kid in a hobby or an activity. So that's going to take some work on our part, some thought work on us. And I love
Yeah.
that you were saying it's just a door closing. Maybe maybe we are standing in the way of their true hobby and their true
Mhm.
calling because we're so fixated on what we think their gifts are.
I think it's so true. I think often that things are stepping stones for something next coming in our life, right? So maybe, taking piano lessons is a stepping stone for learning how to really, stick with something for a while and learn routine and learn practice, the power of practice. And then it's going to lead them to something else that they enjoy more that is part of what lights them up, but that skill still taught them. It still helped them. Like
Yeah.
I think about like my husband, he's a dentist now, right? But he learned to play the piano and I feel like that those skills, now he's not a concert pianist, but he's a good piano player, but there were times where he hated to practice and there was a time where he quit. But that skill led him to, I mean, he's so good with his hands, right? But
Yeah.
the piano lessons wasn't the end all, but it helped him develop some patterns and habits and skills in his hands that now help him in his career. So maybe that chapter closed at some point. He still plays the piano occasionally, but now he does it more just like for enjoyment and calming. It's not a career, but it led him to his career. And so I
Mhm.
think sometimes it is just this like, okay, that was a stepping stone.
Yes. Well, and that kind of goes to my last one of like this overall conversation, right? This is not just a one and done, like, oh, my child says they're done and we're done, right? But
Hmm.
if it's an early mismatch, let's not force this, right? Especially too when it comes to like classes. To me, there's a big difference in it's the first like semester of high school for my teenager. They're a freshman or a sophomore. We signed them up for an AP class. Within the first like month of school, they're like, Mom, I just don't know if I can do this or this is really hard. That is a conversation I'm willing to have of like, okay, maybe we do switch classes versus we're a whole semester in and now it's getting close to the AP test time and things have ramped up and they're like, Mom, I don't want to do this and they're crying and stuff. That's a different conversation of quitting because one is maybe this is a mismatch and I didn't really realize what I was signing up for versus I'm just a little overwhelmed right now and I'm scared and it's a heavy load because just like exercising my muscles, like it's gonna hurt at some point, right? But that doesn't mean that we're gonna quit. So if your teen is early on and there is a mismatch, don't be afraid to be like, okay, yeah, like let's finish. Because I do believe there's value in saying, yep, you got to finish this season, you got to finish this team, or let's finish this month out because I've paid your teacher, or this, let's finish to what we've committed to. And then guess what? You can step away from this. We don't have to do it again. And I think that's really valuable and important for your teen to see, like, oh, mom heard me. She validated me. I'm still accountable to what I've agreed to, whether that was I've paid for a month of lessons or we have a recital coming up in a month and I don't want to leave my teacher hanging, right? Like we factor in
Hmm.
all those pieces of it. But if this is an early mismatch and you're like, "Oh, they're not picking up music like I thought they would," or they don't like this dance teacher, it's okay to reevaluate, to quit. Maybe we pick a different dance teacher, right? Like we've got lots of options.
And I think it's just important as a parent to remind ourselves nothing's gone wrong. This is just good
No.
information. This was good to like explore this and to see, okay, this isn't their interest or this isn't their hobby or this isn't something that lights them up or it isn't their strength. This is just good to know. Nothing has gone wrong that we did a mismatch.
Yeah.
It just actually leads us to what we do find joy in and what is our strength and what we do love. So I think it's just remembering like it's kind of part of like finding your purpose and what you love and what you want to do is is exploring a lot of different things. And I'm like, oh, good to know this isn't one of them. This isn't an area that my child finds enjoyable or has a strength in. So let that redirect them to something that is more of their strength, is more of their hobby, is something that lights them up.
Yes, and I would say like pay attention, like pay particular attention to this if you are a family that all of your children do a musical instrument and now you're going to start your baby on a musical instrument, right? Like we want to really pay attention to that because our teen can feel so ostracized when they're like, well, my sister's amazing at piano and my brother's amazing on violin and I'm supposed to be amazing at piano too, but I'm not, right? Or I'm not enjoying it, right?
Mhm.
And we've got to be okay to go, oh, it's okay. Like we don't have to label ourselves as like a musical family, even though there's power in that if everybody agrees to that. But we don't want one of our youth that's like, I'm not as good at this as my sister or my sibling. To have the
Mhm.
freedom to go, let's try sports. Let's try cooking classes. Let's try something else. You don't have to have a blanket statement of, well, all my kids do piano lessons, right?
Mhm.
It's okay
So
if
good.
you find, like, I just think of my boys right now. One of them wants to sign up for everything. He wants to do every sport, and you can see when he's in there, he's listening to the coach and he's intense and he's in it. My other boy, who I think, because I'm his mama, I think he's athletic. I think he's so amazing and wonderful. He's catching butterflies on the baseball field. Like, he is not, his head is not in that game. He's not looking at his coach. And so that should be a cue to me, like, maybe this isn't his thing, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
And maybe we try it again and we see and we go, oh, yep, it really isn't his thing. Or, oh, guess what? He's grown up a little bit and it is his thing. But it's okay if our kids have different passions and interests. And I would be very careful of like doing blanket statements in my family of like, well, we all do a musical instrument, right?
Mhm.
Um, there's value in that. And I think that's where we get caught up as parents. We're like, but this is a valuable life skill, Abby. Yeah, no, it totally is if you like it, right?
Mhm.
If it teaches your teens, you know, um, how to create something that they love or to stick to something, but it doesn't have to be a forever, I'm committed to this and I hate it and I'm dragging my teen there.
I love it. I just thinking about how with our kids. So my husband's very athletic, and he played a lot of soccer and basketball, and has done a lot of triathlons and running, and so that's kind of what our kids saw. And so a lot of our kids did those things, right? And then our youngest, he wanted to wrestle. We were not a wrestling family, but it was something that was really important to him. And, as we opened space for that and let him explore that, he loved it and he
Yeah.
excelled there. And I loved watching my husband who he knew soccer, he knew basketball, he knew running and swimming, biking, but he didn't know wrestling. And yet he was like, okay, this is important to Caden. So, you know what? I'm going to learn about wrestling. And I think that was such a gift to Caden to realize like, okay, I don't have to do this just because
Yeah.
my dad's done this and my brothers and my sister have done this. I can do something different. And he's our more of our, gym rat wrestler, and he loves and excels at that. And I think that is just such an important gift to give our kids. It's like their hobbies might not be our hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Their interests might not be our interests, but what is it that they're drawn to, and let them explore that. I think it's so important.
I love that. I love that so much. And you know, our kids, yeah, I think our job is to give them opportunities to maybe push them in directions that they're like, I wouldn't do this on my own. But if we discover early on, oh, hey, they don't like it, they're telling me they want to quit after the big event that's supposed to be exciting and fun, or it's an early mismatch, no harm, no foul, right? Like
Yep.
let's try something else. Or guess what? Our kids, I know this is a radical thought. Our kids don't have to have a hobby. Like that's a
Mm.
professional, I pay a teacher and they go to lessons
Mhm.
every week. They don't have to have that. Maybe that could be a whole other podcast episode. So we'll stop there. But
I love it. It's a good thing to think. It's a good way to end. Yeah, thank you for joining us, and we can't wait for you to join us on our next episode.
thank you for listening to Let's Talk Teens with Cheree Murdock and Abby Winslow. If you are looking for more tips to help your teenager, here's where you can find us. You can find Cheree Murdock on Instagram at Cheree Murdock Coaching or on her website, ChereeMurdock.com. You can find me, Abby, on Instagram as Abby Winslow or on my website, AbbyWinslow.com. Please rate and review our podcast and share with a fellow parent. Thanks for listening.